So I'm going to talk about IT ecosystems. And I didn't know I was going to talk about IT ecosystems when Vineet asked me to speak. But I thought about what is it that we've been doing at Deutsche Bank for the last several years, much of which was in partnership with HCL. And what are the challenges that we're facing as we've been going through our own transformation inside of Deutsche Bank within the financial services industry, and what's working and what's not working. And so I wanted to talk to you today about a little bit about what's working, but a little more about what's not working. I think you'll find, not surprisingly, a parallel to a bit of what Vineet talked about this morning with the Gen Y crowd, and what Malcolm talked about with outsiders. So in 2008, we had an IT structure of 7 discrete IT organizations, very much vertically aligned to the businesses of Deutsche Bank. It's a model that worked for us well. It helped us to achieve great success. But in terms of getting to the next stage of Deutsche Bank's evolution, which was both in terms of the recognition of the importance of the enterprise and building for the enterprise, as well as recognizing what customers were asking from Deutsche Bank in terms of a singular face to the client, this model wasn't working. And in 2009, we started our journey. And our journey was one of moving, not completely moving to a functional model, where you do see a fair number of functional components on the org chart up there, but you see the fact that we maintained an alignment to the businesses, and this was very important because if we were to have completely stripped the alignment to the businesses away, all we'd be doing is taking one vertical structure and replacing it with another vertical structure. So this created more of a marriage, a bit of a hybrid between the business aligned needs when you're working in support of the Deutsche Bank businesses and their clients, but at the same time recognizing that it just doesn't make sense to have 85 settlement systems supporting 42 different product or asset classes throughout banking. And the legacy drag that we were incurring and the inefficiencies that we were incurring were overwhelming. And so the move to this new structure was met with actually fantastic delight from a lot of the junior people in the organization who actually liked the idea of going in to work every day with a very clear understanding of what their role was and what it is that how they could get stronger in performing their role and contribute to the bank. And it was met with a lot of trepidation from senior people in IT and senior people in the business. And so I can relate to Malcolm's comment about being a bit ostracized, because I felt that way for probably 18 months. And yet, we travel yearly, a very number of us in IT. We go out to Silicon Valley, we go to Research Triangle, we go now to India, we meet with technology firms, and we talk about how the best technology in the world is being built. And it's being built with specialists. It's being built with people who understand their functional role. The trick, obviously, is how do you integrate the specialists? And that became the big challenge of our new structure was what was the new glue that would pull together the application services teams with the platform teams, with the production teams, ultimately in support of the business needs that were being identified by the business solutions teams. In 2011, what we did was we brought this organization together further. What wasn't evident in the last slide was we were still operating in that last model with 3 different IT organizations, and in 2011 we brought it all together under one roof. So effectively 8,000 IT professionals in the bank and roughly 14,000 resources that work with us from outside. all working towards supporting the primary businesses of Deutsche Bank and building the technology, largely in the same framework that I showed earlier, but with a recognition of some of the unique things going on in the bank right now, the retail challenges of our acquisition of Postbank, as well as, again, dealing with some of the more macro challenges that we face in the industry. And so having everything under one roof right now and bringing the organization through that transformation has clearly paid dividends. I want to get back now to the theme of my talk, the IT ecosystems. You can very clearly see internally what we've done in terms of, or what we've needed to do in terms of really redefining and re-engaging the various professionals who sit in the various parts of our organization into an ecosystem to deliver solutions. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we're hired for in the bank. If we can't deliver better incremental and differentiating value than what you can get from outside, then why hire us and why pay whatever premium, or as it seems to be in banking now, a lower premium that we're getting for our work. But this isn't enough. One of the clear things that we've seen as we've been moving forward is we don't have all the skills. We don't have all the skills in the 8,000 people that we have in the bank. We certainly don't have all the skills even in the 14,000 resources that we work with from the outside. There's a whole number of reasons for it. Again, I thought Vineet covered it nicely this morning when he talked about the importance of employees, but looking at employees as being everyone, and not just the employees that you yourself are managing or are hired, have hired. And so I see an emerging environment where there's not only the more internal ecosystem of how we work in the bank, the importance of the ecosystems of how we're working with firms like HCL and other partners that we work with. But there's another one, and it's probably the most important one, and that is the emergence of the Gen Y desire to not work in the corporate world. They don't like it. They don't want it. And yet they're very talented. And I first took notice of this, as I'm sure many of you have, when you look at the sheer proliferation of apps that get built and run on your iPads and your iPhones that aren't being built by people that work at Apple. They're getting built by people outside of Apple. And I thought, right, I have effectively 22,000 resources that I pay for on a committed basis to build software. Why are we in this model? This model doesn't seem right to me. There's something that seems old about the model, and it's not attractive to some of their better talent. And we've done a number of things in the bank. We've set up development centers outside of the traditional financial services capitals. So whereas when I joined the bank many years ago, most of the people in technology were either located in New York or London or in Frankfurt, smaller pockets in Singapore, Hong Kong, Tokyo. What you've seen and what we've done over the past several years is we've built out development centers where people want to work. We set up a shop in the Research Triangle. We set up a shop up in St. Petersburg in Russia. We have a very big shop in Moscow, and obviously we've increased the work we do with firms such as HCL and others who have their offerings from Bangalore, Mumbai, and other parts of the world. But still, we're not tapping some of the better talent. And one of the things that we're beginning to do now is really look at, again, what is the internal role that IT professionals should be playing inside of Deutsche Bank? Is it to build software? Is it to provide solutions? Or is it to build the frameworks that enable us through the modern technologies to reach out to where the talented people are and find them a mechanism to actually tap their abilities, get them to work with us in the way in which they want to work, which could be late nights, could be long stretches, could be in little teams, but they're not employees of the bank. They're not employees. They're not people. They may be people that we have, obviously, will have some type of relationship with, and they're people who probably don't want to be known to be working with a bank. They might want to get paid from the bank in some fashion, but they probably that stigmatism that's going on right now isn't as attractive. But I feel like I work for a bank, but I often don't feel like I work for a bank. Right? I'm an IT person, and I understand the demands of the business, and I try to find the best way to provide those solutions. And I believe one of the bigger challenges we have is the how that we do our job and the who, and finding ways to better tap the who, providing them with a framework and with standards on the how, I think is a model for forward. And it's certainly what has occupied my time and will continue to occupy my time as we go forward. And this isn't to say that the relationships that we have built up over the years and a lot of the roles that have been established in our shop are going to suddenly go away. They're not. But we need to think differently. The norms are changing, and this is my idea for the IT ecosystem of the future. Thank you.